There is a remnant of people in America right now that are as hungry for God as I've ever seen Americans. I'm not talking about the majority. I'm talking about a remnant of intercessory, worshiping believers that are so passionate about Him that, and I find them everywhere I go. If He says fast, they're going to fast. If He says worship, they're going to worship. If He says weep, they're going to weep. If He says I'm coming to America, they rejoice. If He says it's going to be some judgment, they're okay with that because they so trust Him. Whatever He does, they know it's right. When He says I'm coming, though, for souls and I'm going to pour my Spirit out, they believe it. They know it's coming because they have so tuned into Him. They're so in love with Him. They're so joined to His heart that He just whispers and they hear it. He's the most important thing to you in all the world. You would die for Him right now if you were faced with that decision. He can have anything He wants. You're not super spooky spiritual about it. It's just like the love for a spouse you've walked with for 40 years. You don't necessarily have the infatuation of like that you had in the very beginning, but there's such a oneness and there's such a love and there's such a connectedness there. You know what they're going to say before they open their mouth. I think there's a group of people that have pursued Him so diligently and faithfully for the last few years. They're radically, passionately in love with Jesus, the Father, Holy Spirit. They know He's coming with another great awakening. Nothing could ever make them doubt it. And they're ready and willing to do anything to be a part of it. Am I talking to anybody in the house? So here's what He was saying to me. Now I'll get to 5. I'm coming to a people that have learned to wait for me patiently because they trust me. And in the process, they have not grown disillusioned. They've grown more and more in love with me. And now we are one. And then He said again, wait. And this time, I knew it wasn't W-A-I-T. I knew when He said it, it was W-E-I-G-H-T. Heavy. Weighty. And I knew that glory in Hebrew meant the word kabod, the word for glory, means heavy or weighty. And I knew He was saying to me, I'm coming to a remnant with my glory. For those who have learned to wait and those who trust me and those that now long for me, I'm coming for them. I'm coming to do what I promised them I would do. I'm coming to the remnant that has embraced me with all of their hearts. And I'm coming to release a weight of glory in the earth. And I'm starting with that group of people. They're going to know the weight of my presence in a new way. They're going to know my glory. And I'm not talking about a little mist coming in a room. I'm talking about the weighty, heavy, thick presence of God that settles in the room, and it brings something other than just flippant joy. It brings a fear of the Lord, but a longing. It brings something that you can't describe. It's Him. When it shows up, it comes with power. When it shows up, sinners can't sit in the room and ignore it. When it shows up, demons can't stay in the room. You don't even get to the point it gets thick enough. You don't have to cast them out. They start screaming on their way out of the room. Signs and wonders, they won't be a problem when the glory shows up. And his enemies, they won't be able to stop him. The very concept of glory means authority. We get the phrase, so-and-so carries the weight around here. We get that from the Hebrew word for glory, the weighty one. Because it means more than glory in the sense of majesty or glorify as in worship. It means the one who has the glory, or the glorious one, is the weighty one that carries authority. And God is coming, and I'm not trying to be flippant. God is coming to throw his weight around. He's going to throw his weight around Arkansas. He's going to demonstrate who he really is. And his glory is coming to a remnant army. And it's not just limited to us. There are going to be others that get into it. But I'm telling you, he is coming to those that are ready. And when he gets there, the church that has been not so relevant and laughed at and mocked by the world is going to not be laughed at anymore. Because the world is going to say about us just like they did in the book of Acts. You either need to join them or you need to get away from them. But you won't sit there and be indifferent when the glory shows up. This is the one that's going to show up and turn nations in a day. Revival is going to show up in countries of the earth. Nations of the earth are going to be visited by Holy Spirit. And in a few days, figuratively speaking, entire nations are going to turn to Jesus. Signs and wonders are going to start taking place. Dead are going to be raised. Extraordinary creative miracles are going to start happening. Limbs are going to grow. Cancers are going to fall off. Incurable diseases are going to be healed. I tell you, when this starts happening and his weight comes to the region, everything is going to change quickly. Don't think for a minute he's not able to do this. He can do it, and he's going to do it. And he wants to do it. We're not appealing to him to try and talk reticent God into doing something for us, as in revival or harvest, awakening, revival. We are appealing because we have become one with his heart. And he's the one that's really burning for the souls. He's the one that died for them. He's the one that's passionate for the sinner. He's the one who loves to save. He's the one that takes no pleasure in their judgment. He's the one that's not willing that any perish. And when we start travailing and crying out, we're not trying to convince him to do something. We are voicing his heart and his prayer. And he's coming to America. And he's coming to pockets of America very quickly. And Arkansas, you better get ready. And he's coming to schools. He's coming to colleges and universities. And you might keep preachers out, but you can't keep the glory out. You might even keep the physical Bible out, but you can't keep the God of the Bible out. And you might make them take a flag down, but you can't make the presence leave. And when signs and wonders start breaking out in the classroom, and demons start leaving students, and they lay on the floor for hours and can't get up, and God just shows up because his weight comes into the room. And if you think I'm hyping you, you are wrong, because I'm telling you right now, this is coming to America.